We the top 10. UGK the major way, not play it, it don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time until the clock hit. Bands on roll, we doing digi to the whole block clear. Yo, what you got there? Oh, did you not hear? And he's taking over and we got the whole shop, yeah. Her, she wanna know me better, but I'm on the top 10. Gotta match my energy, you see I'm in the top, yeah. Yeah, it's top 10. Hey, now I'm in blessed mode, did you forget, bro? Put G-O-D first and nothing less, no.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah.
All right, let's kick it off. Episode 386, PHPUgly.
And we missed something. Oh,
It's the good time. We missed something.
we did. Aye. This episode is sponsored by Mailtrap, an email delivery platform that developers love. Try for free at mailtrap.io.
You happy,
That's what?
man?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You happy?
I'm always happy.
Paying our dues. You're blurry.
I'm blurry. You're blurry.
I don't know. It might be my connection. My keyboard literally decided to stop working as the intro was going, but we'll try
Hey, you don't need a keyboard.
Nah, I don't do any work or anything. I just need to be able to have the mouse. I'm good. Where was I? Episode 386, PHPUgly. First time watching. Podcast about PHP language, PHP community, PHP architect.
Wow, you really aren't feeling it today, are you?
Our heart is behind it. I'm having motivational issues today, John. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm hearing that.
The podcast is made better thanks to some sponsorship. Mailtrap.io, right? Mailtrap.io.
Yep.
Honey Badger, and our supporters on Patreon. I think that's it. Oh, if you want to be a part of it, hit us up in our Discord. Discord.phpugly.com.
There you go.
And this is John. John's with me. Hey, John.
Hi, it's me. This is the weirdest start to a show ever.
Oh,
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I'm in a whole different headspace today. I don't have to tell you.
I wrote to Eric a few minutes ago saying, hey, I might be a couple of minutes late to the show. And he's like, late for what?
Lies. All lies.
Late for what? If you want to be a part of the Discord family, join us, discord.phpugly.com. Help us with show titles. exclamation point
Help us with the show.
title.
We need help with the show.
Yeah, that we need to, for sure. We have stuff to talk about today. All sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I got a few things out there. What you been up to?
Man, the phone burner is having a big launch of a new feature next week, and it's been like all hands on deck, get the stuff done, like just everything needs to be done, and we've been knocking it out of the park, except for these little edge case things here and there. And the reason I was going to be a little bit late for the show is I wrote a script that it was really just supposed to populate a table in a database. Nothing fancy. Gather a bunch of information, shove it into 2 different tables in the database. Works great on my machine. In production, it runs in like 2 minutes. Yeah, it runs fast in production. I was more worried about production with the amount of data. And the QA person that's trying to check things out is trying to load it in his machine, but he's on Windows, and the CPU just spikes, and it's just not finishing. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't. I don't have a Windows machine to try it to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
What it's doing isn't complicated. Get a bunch of data, put it in the database. It's not even that much data in the local development database. So I'm very confused why he's having these issues. But you guys were more important to me, so I told him, sorry, this is gonna have to wait till after the show or tomorrow. I know this is a big feature and it needs to get out there, but my PHPUgly family is more important.
Oh man, I tell you, the weeks are flying by for me. They're just flying by. I can't keep track. And I don't think I've touched code in a while, which is really makes me feel uncomfortable. I need to get back into it. I think we forgot to mention it last week on the show, or last couple of weeks on the show. It might have been by now. But if you do have a virtual pass for PHP Tech, or if you attended PHP Tech, if you watch the videos on phptech.tv, first off, there's a free keynote now on the landing page. Ben Ramsey had reached out to us and said, "Hey, I'm good if you guys want to release my keynote on YouTube." And I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'll get to that." And didn't get to it. And then I saw that they were talking about it on Mastodon yesterday. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should probably do that." And I just didn't feel like going through all the hassle of getting it uploaded to YouTube and everything. So I just coded it so it was on the front page of PHP Tech TV. Does this work? Yeah, there you go. Right now, I forgot I had this set up. Right now it's the show. I had it on Mastodon yesterday. Look at that.
Look how fancy you are.
When the show's not going, Ramsey's talk is on there. So yeah.
Hi, PHP Tech TV.
Update that code. But yeah. So that's there. But also, I can still show you guys that. If you go in here, you can see now videos that you've finished watching, thanks to John. John did some research and did some coding and stuff. So now there's a little complete logo on talks that you have finished watching.
We got to figure out how to.
This while ago.
Yeah, I want to create a button on each video that says "Mark completed," because there's plenty where once you get to the end of the applause and you're like, okay, I've finished this, you're not necessarily going to make it all the way to the end, and that's currently the only way I know that you've completed it. So if we just give them on each,
probably handle that in code. Oh, right, because we don't know, because you don't get to that little finish tag, huh?
Right.
You don't know how long it is.
Correct. So we would either have to go figure out exactly how long each one is, and then figure out where is our cutoff. If you make it to 90% of the time, do you mark it as complete, or do we just let them say, "Hey, I've watched this. I don't need you don't need to track how much I've watched. Trust me, I've watched it.
Marcus completed. Yeah, Marcus completed would be pretty easy to do. Just a little boolean, the little toggle there. You could probably do that, and then try to figure that out. I'd rather figure out, like, if you start if you go back to a video that you already started but didn't finish, I would like it to pick back up where it left off.
Yeah, I've thought about doing that as well. That won't be that hard because we know where you left off.
Right, we're tracking that now, aren't we?
Right.
Yeah.
So we would just have to yank that out of the database to set the start position. So definitely doable. Things to work on. More features for PHP Tech TV.
Yeah. Why are we worried? Why are we so worried about it? Because PHP Tech 2025 is coming up quickly.
Oh my gosh. I told my wife this morning. I don't know why, because yes, it's stressful, but we're not at that point yet. I literally had a dream/nightmare last night where we got through the first day. Like all of a sudden we're at Tech. The first day talks. We're in the middle of them. And I come over to him like, Eric, we didn't do any setup. Like we did no setup. Nothing was done. And it was almost like it was a tutorial day. So the first day was okay not to be correct. I'm like, I don't remember flying in. And you said the same thing. Like, I don't either. And it's like, and then we're at the end of the day and people were just milling about. We're just hanging out like we do for game night, right? And you look at me like, you tell me, we need to kick all these people out so we can set up. I'm like, I know, but I don't want, like, how? It was so, and then in the dream, I realize it's a dream. I'm talking to you and I said, this has to be a dream. I just haven't woken up yet. And I'm having this conversation with you during it. It was so... Then I knew it was a dream because I went to the bathroom and there was an arcade in the bathroom. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, Grayson would love this.
That's a dream. That's a fantasy. What are you talking about? That would be awesome. Like a little Donkey Kong, like doing your thing. Yeah. Get behind that.
So weird.
I heard, I don't know if it's true. It's true for me because I've experimented with it a little bit, but I've heard that you can always tell you're in a dream because you can't read anything. Words. It's like the AI generated images. Like the words aren't readable.
Really? I have not noticed that.
If you're, I'm fairly lucky where I can have fairly lucid dreams. It's something I've been able to do ever since I was a child. But if you're able to do that and you're able to think, okay, let me find something to read. It's kind of like Inception, right? Or is it Inception? Yeah, where they have their little gizmos that they do to see if they're dreaming. It's kind of like that. If you can tell yourself, okay, let me try to read something, and it just doesn't make sense, then you kind of know you're in a dream, or you've had a stroke. One of the two things are possible.
That's interesting. Never heard that one.
So I have a challenge, and I'm fighting it, and I guess I shouldn't. The current wife is very supportive and behind this idea. I don't know. It's just weird. Okay, so first thing, we're empty nesters now. Both NorCal and SoCal kid physically don't live with us. Rarely come to visit us. We're fine. Don't worry about it. We're good. But so the current wife had quit the job at the hospital where she physically had to go to the hospital. So she works here at the house. I work here at the house. So we have been spending a lot of time together. I'm loving it. So I'm told. And we have Laracon coming up. I have Laracon coming up. And I forget, Laracon's like on a Tuesday or Tuesday. Oh, Wednesday, Thursday. Right? Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
I don't know. They're sold out. I wasn't able to get tickets.
Yeah. It was so weird because we looked at it the week before. They seemed to have tickets, but yeah, they sold out that 1 week. But so I've gotten into this thing where I like catching ball games, and I had already kind of I already had the idea that I was either going to go early. It's in Dallas. I was either going to go early a couple days or stay a couple days late and drive up to Oklahoma and visit my family. I have family up in Oklahoma. Oklahoma also has a minor league baseball team. I'd probably go catch a game. So that's my thing. I like going to catch baseball games when I can, especially when I'm traveling. So the current wife got me, and I should have it in my hand, but she got me this. I'm going to grab it real fast. Don't move.
Okay. I'm sure this is well worth it. We need to see it.
Way to cover for me. Way to fill. So the current wife got me these like little charms that have all the stadiums you've been to, right?
Hmm.
So every time you go to the stadium, you can get the charm for the stadium. I love this thing. I mean, I don't love it. It's cool, right? Because you realize how many ballparks you visited. So I'm like, wow, like the Rangers are right there. What are the chances the Rangers are in town? And I'll catch a Rangers game and I can get the little charm for the Ranger Stadium. And I look, and of course they're not in town. They're not in town. They're out of town the entire week. I think the entire week of Laracon. And the week before, they're out of town from like Wednesday on. But they're there on Tuesday the week before. And I'm like, oh, I really... And they're also playing the Pirates, which is, the current wife, she grew up around Pittsburgh. I'm like, oh, I'd really have to go catch that Rangers game. And like I said, the current wife, she's like, yeah, you should do it. You've been working hard. You don't get a lot of time to yourself. Go do it. I'm like, But that means I'm there like a week before the conference. And then, of course, I still have the conference to get through. So, I don't know. Yesterday, I was like, forget it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to fly out Friday or Saturday, drive up to Oklahoma, visit family, and come back down. And I told her, and she's like, no, don't do that. Just go out there and catch the game. And I'm like, so now I'm torn. I don't know what
Just
to
do it. You can work remotely. Take some time.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I don't know. I might. I gotta get my plane tickets though, because it's getting close to the conference. So I need to figure out what dates I'm going so I can get my tickets. But yeah, I don't know.
What dates you're going to get tickets. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do anything right now. My brain's fried. I don't know what to do. I miss my Kalen. I need Kalen running the show for me. What? Sorry, what?
You want to hear something funny? You know how we talked a week or so ago about our PO box. I'm the one that checks it because it's a mile from my house, but I don't check it. I rarely go there, and I realized the other day I haven't checked this thing in probably months at this point. So I was on my way to somewhere with the family. We stopped. I'm like, I'm just gonna run in and check this real quick because I also had to pay taxes, which is a pain in the ass, and that's a lot of money going out. And don't get me started on that. But I checked the PO box. One of the things on top was from a corrections facility. I'm like, this is weird. Wrong box. And then I look. No, it's written to PHP Architect. I'm like, that's really weird. And then I'm flipping through all the mail that's in there because it was jam packed with stuff. And there's a second one from a corrections facility. Okay, this is really odd.
Your last notice that we're coming bust down your door.
So I get back in the car and I show my wife. I'm like, this is weird. And I open it. And lo and behold, there's somebody who is incarcerated that is trying to better themselves, wants a subscription to the PHP Architect magazine, sent me a check for a subscription to the magazine. Luckily, it was just within the last few weeks. So it's not like it's been sitting there for months.
You shut up.
So yeah, we're going to be sending mail to a corrections facility. And I told Jackie, I'm like, this could be great, nice topic for PHP. And she's like, don't make fun of that. I'm not. I think that's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Right. It's great that somebody wants to better themselves. So I'm probably going to go a step further and send them a couple of PHP Architect books if you're cool with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. That's fantastic, dude. Now I kind of want to like reach out and see if they need mentoring or anything. I mean, are they developers? Do they need?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Do they listen to PHPUgly? Include that in the.
Are they allowed to?
Well, they're not allowed. They needed a physical copy of it because they don't have access to the internet. So they do not listen. But when you get out and you're listening to this, we're talking about you and we think you're awesome.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, I don't even know how, like, do you know, like, the individual, or is it just like a generic, hey, send it to this location and they'll get it?
No, it came from them. It was a handwritten note saying, I'm incarcerated, I'm trying to better myself, I'd love a subscription. And the first one I opened didn't have the check. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine by me. I want to help somebody that's trying to help themselves for sure. And then got the second one that, basically repeated what the first letter said, but also included a check for the subscription.
Wow. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts, man. All right. I'm on a mission now. I want to better this person. All right. Cool. Well, you know what? You can better yourself. No, I don't know. That was a terrible segue. Here, let's listen to Mail Trap.
This episode is sponsored by MailTrap, an email delivery platform that developers love, an email sending solution with industry best analytics, SMTP, and email API, SDKs for major programming languages, and 24/7 human support. Try for free at mailtrap.io. Thank you, MailTrap.
Thank you, MailTrap. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, you've got this like little earworm in me now, and I just can't. I want to know more. Like, I want to stop the show. Let's figure this out. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, sure.
So obviously, don't want to dox the person or give away too much information. But are they? Are they in the U.S.? Are they in California? Do you know that?
I do. I just don't have. I accidentally left that mail in the car, so I don't have it with me. They were in the U.S. I just forget where.
Interesting. All right. We're gonna move on. Let's move on.
Yeah.
What you got? You have anything you want to talk about? Are we done? We can wrap up. Can I go to bed?
Elephants shipping out. Need to get that done. Need to do that tomorrow. I promised people they'd go out this week.
Farewell to Oscar. Oscar's in the real world. He's grown up. He's moved on. We have no more Oscars.
Yep.
Oscar's sold out.
I have so tonight my kid has his first Little Stars tournament that he's going to, so I can't do anything tonight for it, but I will start printing out all the invoices, and then tomorrow I guess I'll be in my garage boxing them up.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be down your way tomorrow too.
Are you?
Yeah. Shoot. I need to think about that a little bit. Sold out. Right. No more Oscars.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah.
Maybe figure something out. Because it's gonna be a lot of boxes. I gotta get them shipped.
Yeah, I can't stay too long because we're doing a roundtable tomorrow. TJ, Sarah, Joe Ferguson, we're just gonna get together and talk. Don't have anybody else joining us that we know of, but we didn't have anybody that we knew of last month either, and Derek popped on. So nice. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. So yeah, if you're interested, tomorrow, PHP roundtable, actually this same time, 3:00. We've kind of committed to doing it every second Friday of every month is kind of the orders moving forward, and then try to build up some guests around it. I'd like to get some guests. So many people I've noticed are like doing I guess interview sort of podcasts where they have people on, they talk to them, and it's been like a lot of them coming up in the PHP community. I'm like,
Especially with
how
that.
does everybody have so many friends and I don't have any? Like, nobody wants to be on my podcast. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you got?
We
What
have
do you got?
Scott doing some.
Yeah, Scott's our man now, huh? He's
Yeah,
doing the community corner. I actually owe him a bunch of social posts. I have really fallen behind. I got lazy because we had Corey helping us with PHP Tech.
hmm
So I've gotten really lazy at doing my social media posts for the company and for the YouTube channel. I feel bad. I need to reach out to Corey. I'm like, hey, aren't you bored? Didn't you have a good time with the social media posts for Tech?
You want to come back and hang out with us more.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to be spinning it all back up here soon again anyway.
That's actually right. Yeah, we have we sent out our first couple of prospectuses from people who one of them actually reached out to us, which man feels so good. Like feels so good that they reached out to us so soon.
Until we learned what their minimums were.
I have not seen that, so screw you.
The one you're talking about.
The minimum. Oh, the attendees. That's what
minimum attendees. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I never replied to that, did I? Did you reply?
No, I didn't reply either.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, totally forgot about that. You gotta do something. Gotta send out a reply. All right. So, couple interesting things. What were you gonna say? You want to talk PHP or you want to talk BS?
I was gonna talk about my card that I had added earlier.
Absolutely, that's important. That's an important one.
Yeah, important. So yesterday there were a couple people that were having trouble with the GitHub plugin in PHP Storm. And I don't use it that often, but I fired it up and it didn't work for me either. I thought that was weird. Turns out there's a security vulnerability and you have to upgrade your PHP Storm client in order for the GitHub to continue working. Yeah. So just as always, keep your software up to date. Make sure you're not leaking information that you don't want to be.
How do they get their font to do this? I know this is a security post. I should be paying attention to that. But how are they getting there? How are they making this character right here?
You got me.
It's got to be a custom. No, I can even just select the eye. IntelliJ, I need answers. How are you doing this? You're breaking my head.
It doesn't make any sense.
We're gonna do some inspecting. I want to see if there's something special here going on. Let's go here. I hate this thing. This is what I want right here. Let's lift this up.
I was gonna say, but you're not sharing the inspector window.
Oh, you guys can't see the inspector window?
I can't. No,
that's crazy.
You zoomed in just on the title.
Oh, that's crazy. I guess I have to share the whole app then. Well, for what it's worth, looking at it in the inspector, there's nothing special about it. It looks like it's regular, text. So interesting. They must have a special font or something. I want to know. I want answers. God damn it.
Oh, the things you worry about.
Okay. I'm moving on.
Yeah, move on.
What else we got?
You should do that. Yeah, I don't know. You had a bunch of cards.
Actually, I want to see if the cool, links are posting. That's good. Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, we haven't talked about it, and I wasn't going to bring it up today, but this is kind of I think the beginning of a stack of of things here. Twitter, X, whatever the hell, they have this.
Sorry, it's called JetBrains Sans. That is their own font.
So how is the I and J though overlapping like that though?
It's just how their font, how they made those two characters. So the I's character is really the when you highlight it, it's the I with a little line underneath of it, and then the J is just all the way to the edge of the character space. So it looks like they connect.
Oh, interesting. So, are you telling me anytime you use a lowercase I using that font, you'll get that weird little space? That is some commitment to branding there. You're like, screw everybody's stuff.
I would think so, except for the fact that the I in JetBrains is not. So now I'm very confused.
Anyways, a while back, Elon, in his great wisdom of trying to burn one of the best social media platforms to the ground, has decided to officially allow porn on the site, which I never really gave much thought to, but I guess that it had always been there. I just didn't, you don't look for it, you don't find it, sort of thing. But it was one of those things where if Twitter came across it, they could ban your account, blah blah. Now, not anymore. It officially allows for porn. The reason this is interesting, and the reason I kept it on my Twilio board, is because this week we got a new announcement. Let me make this bigger. No longer likes are now anonymous, meaning that people can't see what you liked anymore. And politicians, at least here in the US, politicians would like. I'm not going to call people out, but it seemed to be from a particular party would like posts from established racists and bigots in our world, and of course it became a hot talking part of this politician, like this person's post, this person is this massive racist, and legitimately so, right? I mean that's like, as somebody who votes for our elected officials, I kind of want to know that stuff. But with that, and with the release of porn being officially allowed on Twitter now, and now, don't worry about it, nobody can see what you like anymore. I guess you still see how many people liked a certain post, but you're unable to see who those people are anymore.
Right. You used to be able to go to your, like, if you liked a celebrity, you could go see what they liked, and then
right.
Maybe you like the same things, or your friends liked something, maybe you like the same thing. But like you said, it could also be used in politics or anything else to either praise somebody or, put fire under them for doing the wrong thing.
Yep. And of course, Twitter's like, oh, no. It's going to be anonymous. We're going to track it, though, because we want to make your experience better, make sure you're seeing posts that we feel like you'd be interested in. So I don't know, man. I just feel like in about 4 or 5 months, some engineer at Twitter is going to set the wrong boolean somewhere, or somebody's going to get access to these likes and just dump it onto the internet. Like, oh, look at all this stuff this person liked. I don't know.
Yeah, because everyone thinks just because it's not shown that it's private, but like you said, Twitter could add that back at any time.
Right?
Like, it's not really private. Just like incognito mode is not private. It's just a different way of getting to content.
I don't know what incognito mode is, John. You need to explain that to me. Just kidding. Know what I'm not kidding about, though?
What are you not kidding about?
Finding errors.
Splunk like querying without having to sell my kidneys? Nice. That's a direct quote from someone who just saw Honeybadger Insights, the new observability tool from the folks at honeybadger.io. Insights is a fresh approach to logging, performance monitoring, and observability. It's a bit like Splunk, Datadog, or CloudWatch logs, but with just the good parts and a reasonable price tag. Honeybadger helps you gain deeper visibility into what's happening inside your applications, letting you drill down into the details and step back to see patterns in your data. You'll love how easy it is to query your logs and events and create quick charts and dashboards. The best part is that it's available on Honeybadger's free tier as part of their comprehensive monitoring suite, which includes error tracking, uptime monitoring, status pages, and more. Get started for free, then pay as you grow, or choose a 30-day free trial to unlock the full power of Honeybadger right away. To get started, visit honeybadger.io/plans. That's honeybadger.io/plans. Thank you, Honeybadger.
Thank you, Honeybadger. I really want to know who's liking PHPUgly on X.
We see you watching. We see.
Yeah, you know you're watching
right now.
Gary, we see you, Gary. Put a shirt on.
As we're playing the ad, Eric happened to notice how many people are currently watching us, and a good majority are on X. So
yes,
thank you for hanging out with us and watching. And you can still retweet. That's probably still visible. Go and retweet us so other people can find us. Marketing right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, what else you got, John?
We've been doing a bit with AWS RDS recently, and I've become so RDS stopped support for 5.7.
Explain what RDS is real quick.
So the AWS version of relational database services, and through there you can use Postgres, MySQL, yada yada yada. But since MySQL 5.7 is end of life, you can still use it on RDS, but they are so kind where they just tack on money for a support plan, like whether you want it or not. Granted, they gave us plenty of heads up ahead of time saying, hey, if you don't upgrade by this date, this is going to happen. I never knew how much that was going to be. I took care of upgrading PHP Architect before the deadline. But then all of a sudden we had a client come to us and said, hey, my bill is $1,500 higher than it was last month. I was like, what? So we went and I went and looked. I'm like, sure enough, all of their databases were 5.7. So the way I've been upgrading them is through the RDS blue-green deployments, which has been really nice. I don't know if people use this in production in general, but it's a quick way of spinning up a second machine that is already replicating with the production database, but you can make changes to it. So production will be 5.7. You spin up this green database that is MySQL 8. All the queries will continue to run through it, at least all the inserts, updates, and deletes, because it's staying up to date, right? Hopefully your selects work. You can, if you are patient, which I am not, go and, hit the green database with your selects to make sure you're getting the data that you expect, make sure you're not having any performance issues. But I knew the client wasn't doing massive or any sort of strange queries. It's normal selects. So I would just set up the blue-green deployment. If it deployed fine, I would switch over right away and then delete the 5.7 database. I did run into some weird issues when I was doing it where sometimes the replication didn't work right. But once it got up to speed, there were times where I had to delete it and start it again. But once it was right, switch over, delete, and everything was fine. Finally got them all on 8.
Yeah, we're doing that for another client coming up soon. Actually, we're pretty excited about it.
They only had multiple databases. I don't. Is the Aurora? Do you know if the Aurora MySQL 5.7 is they're doing the same uh, service fee? Like, did their bill go up because of that?
Oh, that's a good question. I only assume that they are, but I don't know. They must be. They have to be, right? They have to be.
I would
Yeah,
assume
let's
they.
say they
I
are.
would assume they would have come to us complaining about an increase, like the other client did.
I mean, it's still pretty recent, so maybe they haven't
Yeah.
noticed yet. I
Hey,
added it just popped in to our Discord. I added a link because AWS has we've talked in the past about how AWS has become this alphabet soup of services and understanding what all the services are. I found this great video where somebody breaks down the top 50 top 50, mind you, top 50, meaning there's more. These are just the top 50 services that AWS uh, supplies. I'm the type of person, these videos are absolutely horrible for me to watch because I watch them and it's like, oh yeah, no, we should be using that. Oh no, we should use that. Oh, that we can use that. I was so happy. I caught myself doing it today because we had years ago, we had decided back when we were in DA Dev, we had an AWS account and we had a DigitalOcean account, and we're like, you know what, let's just keep everything on DigitalOcean. It kind of meets what we need, and it's pretty easy, and let's just do it. And we've been happy with that. I mean, we've for our internal stuff, most of our internal stuff that changed when we bought PHP Architect a little bit. But like if we're spinning stuff up, we're typically spinning it up in DigitalOcean, and I did it today. Like I was looking for something today. I'm in our DigitalOcean is pretty big now, like with servers and domains and networks and everything. And I was in there. I'm like, yeah, no, we should probably put everything in AWS now. Wait, what? What am I saying? No, I don't want to do that. I don't know, man. With Redis going away, do you see Redis not being open source anymore as a big deal?
I did not hear that it wasn't.
What is the story behind that? Yes, I believe they are not Redis open sourced anymore. Let me see. What is it? Redis switches to SSPL v1 restrictive license sparks fork. So I guess it's a more restrictive license. If this article wants to open up,
Sharing one in.
yeah. I know a lot of people kind of freaked out about this a little bit, and I was like, just thinking off the top of my head, I honestly I couldn't think of any like simple drop-in replacements for Redis that you could host yourself locally. And if you're not aware what Redis is, it's just a key value store. There's not a whole lot. I mean, there's a lot to it. It's super stinking fast. By default, it all pretty much runs in memory, so everything is just like data is just flying. But there are services out there, and again, AWS has some services that are like key value stores, and there are other like just third parties out there that do key value stores. But I couldn't think of
But
any Redis like if you're doing local development.
I mean, Redis is so much more than just a key value store, though. I mean, some of
Really?
the operations you can do within Redis make it more than just key value. So you can have a bunch of values within a specific key. The lists. I know Andy Snell, who's given some great presentations for
Smart
PHP
guy.
Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Super smart. The stuff he does with Redis blows me away, and it's just crazy. He did something with bitwise operations and tracking phone numbers of some kind. I still
Really?
don't fully understand it, but yeah,
Maybe I need to get him on Roundtable sometime.
yeah, it's more than just a simple key value store.
Really, I never thought of it as anything more than a key value store.
Because that's the easy thing that it does. That's what it was known for. It's what it came out as. But the they have additional operations that people just don't use because we don't know about them. We use it for our simple use case. But if you really want to be optimal in the usage of it, there's a lot you can do.
Interesting. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, maybe I'll ask Andy if he wants to be on Roundtable sometime. For tomorrow, though, on Roundtable, I had been holding on to this card for a while, and it just really didn't feel good. Not that it didn't feel good, but like I just wasn't sure how I was going to talk about it on the show here. And I am going to talk about it because I'm just going to probably be a preview of PHP Roundtable if you join us for Roundtable tomorrow. Man, I feel like I'm selling Roundtable hard today. Sorry about that. I've noticed a lot of talks coming up recently of Rust development for PHP developers. We actually had one at Tech. Nuno did one at Tech
last year,
2023. Yeah.
Yep.
And I just, I never had enough time to look into it. I know there's a lot of hype around Rust right now, and I'm like, I don't get it. I've heard people say, oh yeah, people, they should rewrite PHP, the language, the core language. They should rewrite that in Rust. That's this perfect, Rust solution. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I get it. I understand Rust is a low level sort of language that allows you to interact with lower level interfaces, but it didn't really click to me why everybody saw this huge benefit and why there was so much hype about it behind PHP. And then I read this article. I'm like, wow, that is brilliant. I guess essentially what this Adrian, I guess is how you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm horrible with names if you don't know me. Wrote this great article about how he ended up using Rust to write an extension for PHP because it just allowed him to tie into existing PECL packages and existing core PHP functionality in the language. I'm like, holy smokes! And I guess he goes on to talk about how simple the language was to pick up and how easy it was to kind of make this bridge into the PHP libraries. I don't know, man. It kind of gets you I have zero time anymore to try to learn something new. I really don't. And it pisses me off when I see stuff like this because I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like I could do something because I've wanted to contribute to PHP core for a very long time, and I just don't have the capacity to figure out how to best do that from a coding perspective. I've tried other ways. I was denied, but this sort of thing here, I'm like, what? I need to do this. So yeah, I thought this was interesting. I don't know, have you ever thought about picking up another language, John?
I mean, I came from other languages. I settled on PHP. I know enough to be dangerous in other languages. I wrote an Android app in Java, so I can use other languages. I just prefer not to. I'm old and lazy at this point.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
All these big languages, Go and Rust, and came on the scene, and I'm like, I didn't understand all the hype. I didn't really look into them at all. Mm-hmm. Back in the day when it was PHP or Ruby, I had a friend that went Ruby. I went PHP, and I just never really crossed paths with Ruby. Again, I can get in, I can read enough where I can probably debug and figure out what's going on, but I'm not going to be able to sit down and write from scratch at this point without a lot of research.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I used to really embrace learning new languages, and I still do. I kind of like it, but I've become kind of a PHP snob just because there's so much PHP hate out there that I'm like, okay, yeah, show me why I can't do this in PHP. Like I see things like these cool things that people create in other language. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Like, tell me why I would do that in PHP. Explain that to me because I don't get it. It all seems pretty achievable in PHP. Matter of fact, that's when. So I did make the switch over to Ruby, Ruby on Rails to be more specific. But that's what brought me back. Like I was learning it and was actually getting pretty good at it. Matter of fact, one of the highest answers I have on Stack Overflow was an answer from Ruby on Rails, and it was testing no less. It was like, oh goodness, who was I? I was a crazy person. But every time I did something in Rails, and Rails is a pretty approachable, pretty easy to understand, get your head around, as long as you understand MVC and object-oriented programming. If you don't, you're struggling regardless. But that's how I felt. Like every time I'd be like, oh yeah, I know how to do this in PHP. Now how do I do it here? And I'd figure it out. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't that much different. I don't understand why I would not have just done this in PHP. Like it's like pretty much the same stuff,
Mhm.
Yes, some of the syntax is a little different. The performance, that was the big thing back then, right? Is that the Rails framework just smoked any framework PHP had. I mean, it wasn't even close. But
That was also back in the PHP 4 or 5 days, right?
Right, exactly. And I think there were only a couple out. Like I think Zen, Cake, Symphony had been around back then. I probably didn't know, but there weren't. It wasn't the landscape we have today, and it definitely didn't have the maturity of the language and the frameworks that we have today either. And I came to that again. We talk about this all the time. It's like getting those microseconds of performance out of your code base is important when you're building big honking code bases that have a lot of processing behind it. But I wasn't doing that. And so
you're building web apps.
Right. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to PHP and I'm going to try to find something that's like Rails. Like I really did like Rails as a framework. I'm like, I'm going to try to find something that's like Rails. And back then it was Cake PHP for me. That was the closest to Rails where it did a lot of scaffolding for you, where it would just, do a bunch of the grunt work as far as getting something and getting that app up and running, and then you start customizing it. And I did that, and actually, I don't think I ever looked back after that. So, I'm happy. I'm not complaining. All right.
Me either. It's gotten us this far.
Yeah. Where are we at on time? We're doing good. 55.
Yep.
So
I'm excited to read the article, though. Thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, no problem. And I still might look into it because the idea of creating an actual extension for PHP is very appealing to me. Like if I can use this to build up the language I love, I'm gonna do it. I'll try it. I told you we talked a little earlier about how the current wife was encouraging me to go. Which now that I say it out loud, I'm like, wait, why is she trying to get rid of me? Hold on, what's going on here? But the current wife is encouraging me to go to a conference and spend a little extra time with my family out there and stuff. She got to go visit our NorCal kid last weekend. So she flew up to NorCal and stayed a couple days up there. They did some craft stuff. But the cool thing about it is she got to do one of the, what do they call, Waymo cars? The driverless cars. She got to use the driverless car. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, I am super. I got a notification. So I'm in I keep calling it Waymo. I don't know if that's right, though. I think it's Waymo. I'm in the Waymo beta program because I signed up one time when I was going up to San Francisco to visit NorCal Kid. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they were saying, oh, yeah, we have the driverless cars now. They're all over the place. And they are. Oh, my God. If you haven't been to San Francisco lately, it is just absolutely driverless vehicles all over the place. I mean, it's so common to see it. It's so crazy. I like it. Like, I'm embracing that move because there's so many people in this world who shouldn't be driving, but they literally need the ability to get from point A to point B. And Uber kind of filled that void, but this, I think, even makes it better. So I'm a supporter of the driverless vehicles, and I've been wanting to ride in one for a while. So I had signed up and discovered, oh yeah, you can't just sign up for the service and start using it. They're all in like these beta programs. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll see if I can get in the beta program. And I tried, and when I went up for my visit, I hadn't been accepted yet. And of course, like 3 days after getting back, I am. So I'm like, dang it. And I'm like, well, we go up there enough. I'll ride. But
so were you able to share? Were you able to share that with your wife? So that
no, a NorCal kid. After I explained to them how to get on the beta program, they got on the beta program. They got accepted, so they use it. Like NorCal kid, I mean, they don't use it. Like they don't. I don't know how much they use it. But they've used it enough where they know how it works. But I did get a notification from them last week or the week before this driverless service that they're in LA now. And so I told the current wife, I'm like, yeah, I am straight up going to just drive to LA, park the car, and order one of these cars because I want to ride it. And I asked her because she's not a tech person, like she isn't like super techy or anything. I asked how they felt about it, and she loved it. She's like, it was actually fantastic. Like I said, Uber's good, and I've had great experience with Uber. I've had a couple badly dodgy experiences with drivers, but for the most part, I don't hate on Uber. I think Uber, and even the few Lyfts I've done, I definitely see a difference between Uber and Lyft. Even though most drivers drive for both, but my experience
what's the big difference?
I don't want to bang on the service. I mean, it might have been the cars I took. It might have been the places I was at, because again, a lot of the drivers will drive for both services. There's nothing, saying they can't do that. But like, it seems like every time I get into a Lyft car, it just doesn't seem as clean. Like, I gotta be honest with you. It's like, there's just like something about it. It doesn't seem as well kept. It doesn't seem to just doesn't seem as clean, honestly. And again, whatever, it's like, everybody's making money. So I just prefer Uber. I'm not a fan of, all the politics and the issues with the company. I'm saying the Uber drivers, Uber cars, that's what I like to go with. But even still, I'm not a social guy. I don't like talking to people.
So a driverless car is perfect.
A driverless car is perfect, yeah. But yeah, the current wife, who not a super techie person. I mean, she has more tech chops than she gives herself credit for, because she hangs out with me. But asked what she thought of it. She said, yeah, it was great. She felt like it wouldn't be any issue. She said the only thing that was weird that you need to learn is that, and it makes sense if you think about it programmatically, is that the car won't open and let you in until you tell it to on the phone. So it's not like Uber where you say, okay, pick me up here, and you stand out there and they come, you're like, hey, I'm Eric, hey, I'm John, pop, boom, you get in the car and you go. The car pulls up and it just sits there and won't let you in until you acknowledge, hey, you're my car, open the door, and it lets you in. And then it won't move. It won't go anywhere until you put your seatbelt on. Everybody in the car has to be wearing a seatbelt. It won't go. So, yeah, I kind of want to get in this thing. Yeah, and I've said in the past, I'm rambling. Let's put on our rambling, our Patreon scene here. No music. Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Oh, we do appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
But I've said in the past, like, I don't understand how some of these bigger, like, malls and concert venues, like, how they don't just dump money into these driverless vehicles. Like, think about it. And, like, let people drive for free, right? Like, oh, hey, we'll send a driverless car to pick you up and bring you to our mall. And if you have receipts of over whatever dollars, we'll drive you home for free and we'll credit whatever it took to bring you back. Like, just like giving people the ability to get to whatever your venue is so that they can spend money and get home. I'm like, why aren't more of these bigger, like sporting event stadiums, concerts, malls, like, why aren't they embracing this and just creating their own service? And it can get ugly. It can get like what's the what was the Sylvester Stallone? He was frozen, came out. Anyways, you get it. It can get ugly where like the whole ride is just like selling you advertisements for whatever mall you're going to. I mean, I can definitely see it getting like 80 early 90s internet, where every time you click on a page, you just like have pop-ups all over the place. Demolition Man, thank you, A-Woods. A-Woods in our Discord coming through for me. Appreciate that. But yeah, I like
that's some great ideas. That's things I haven't thought about. That's great marketing, like you said.
I can guarantee you, my mom, who can't drive anymore and shouldn't drive anymore, the driverless car picks her up, takes her to the mall, feeds her a bunch of advertisements on the ride there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I do need a new dress." Like, we got to get behind this. Come on, get on board.
I wonder when they'll be here in San Diego. It can't be long, right?
It can't be.
If they're
right?
going to already in LA.
Yeah, they just hit LA, so yeah, it can't be long. Because San Diego is like, it's I don't know where it ranks in the U.S. as far as city population, but it's got to be within the top 10, right? I mean, it's got to be top 10.
But it's also very spread out. I mean,
which makes the service perfect. Like, that's perfect for this. It's not like New York. Like you should see these things navigate San Francisco, which San Francisco is a pretty condensed. It's not as condensed as New York. Like, it's like New York, but a smaller quantity of it as far as the size. And it does a pretty good job. I mean, it has its flaws. It's not perfect. The key is the flaws are less than humans. And driving San Francisco sucks. It's horrible. I've done that. I had to do that. So, all right. Very cool. That was my rant. I don't know how I ended up down that path, but I did.
I thought it was great. I love those, thinking about the future possibilities of things like that.
If I just had the money to make money off of it,
yeah,
that would be great.
All right,
you heard it here first, folks. When malls start doing sponsored driverless cars to their destination, you can say, "I remember a guy talking about this."
I don't remember his name or where he was at. But
I think he died of a drug overdose or something on the toilet. I'm not sure. All righty. Are we good? You want to talk about anything?
No, need to wrap because I got to get some stuff done before taking my kid to his tournament game.
Sounds good to me. All right. Yeah. That's going to do it. What?
386.
386. I'm Eric.
I'm John. And I'm John.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Urson in Discord, or not Discord. Where are you at? YouTube. Urson on YouTube. I assume you listen to the show. We talked about Rails a little bit. Yeah, it's fine. Again, if you've been a PHP developer for 15 years, don't expect to find anything in Rails that you can't find in PHP. But if you want to learn another language, I always accredit Rails for helping me understand object-oriented programming. Oh, by the way, this is the after party, PHP After Dark. We just rambled.
After show, whatever.
After show. That was the word I was looking for. When I was messaging you. I'm like, what do we call it? After dark? After what?
Did you message me? I missed that.
About something with that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I always accredit my move to Ruby on Rails of helping me get my head around object-oriented programming, because I was a self-taught PHP developer before they really had a good implementation of object-oriented methodology in PHP. So when it came out, and it came out in PHP, and I'm trying to learn it, and I'm trying to understand it, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, why do I create this class car? I just create a variable car and use it. Like, why are they making this so difficult? My little monkey head couldn't get around. My brain just couldn't embrace the reasoning behind object-oriented programming. But when I moved to Ruby on Rails, which is object-oriented programming, I mean, I guess you could if you really wanted to, but there was no other way to do it. That's how I learned it. Like, I learned it, object-oriented programming, through Ruby on Rails. And then I started to understand, oh, I get it. I get why we do this. I understand the benefit of that, and classes and models. And because that was the other thing. It's like, okay, why do you call this a model? It's still just a PHP program. Like, why are you calling it a model? It's still just PHP. Everything's PHP. Why do you call this a model? Why do you call this a view? I just don't get it. But yeah, so that was one of the things when, as I said at the show, even when I was doing it, I'm like, okay, I know how to do this in PHP. And I eventually came back to PHP. But that's why I looked for another framework when I came back to PHP, because I felt like it had a better handle on object-oriented programming and the benefits of it. So I say all that to say I don't discourage you from learning other languages. Again, Rails, is a great solution in and amongst itself, because don't abandon PHP.
You might pick something up from it. I remember when I had to make that switch. Like I said, my buddy went Rails hardcore, and he's like, "You've got to check this out." I think I printed out the documentation for it, and I had this huge packet, and I started looking through it. I just never actually gave it a chance.
Oh, you would. I mean, knowing you now, you would pick it up in like a weekend. It's just you wouldn't have any issues with it at all. I just don't see anything that it does. There's nothing compelling for me to not use PHP anymore, and that's kind of been my kind of mindset for a while. It's like, unless there's a real reason for me not to do something in PHP, because I know, like you, I know some other languages where I know just enough to be dangerous. Python probably being the biggest one. Like I can kick out some Python code, but yeah, I need to get it. Like there needs to be a reason for me not to write it in PHP, even if it's just like a script, like a job or a script or a command line thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's right. For me, it's I had to use Java for the Android app, right? If I wanted to write an iOS app, I'm gonna learn Swift. I just don't have anything I want to write right now.
Well, is Swift Android though? I thought that was iOS.
No. If I wanted to do iOS, it would be Swift. It was Java for Android. They moved on now. They're using something else now. But so I'm showing my age.
Android uses the JetBrains product.
Kotlin, right?
Kotlin, yeah, Kotlin. Yeah. Kotlin's a big one for Android now.
Yep.
Yeah. Swift. Yeah. So funny thing is, I actually went to the first Ruby on Rails user group meetup in India. It was that some dude's apartment. Yeah, that thing, especially back then. Like it was at some dude's apartment by UTC there, John.
Mm-hmm.
Like right across the street from UTC. Now that I say that, and we get there, like it's a small, like 1-bedroom apartment, and this place is absolutely packed with nerds. I mean, it's packed. Everybody's like, talking, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be something. And it did. It really blew up there for a while, then died down. Cool. I do not miss it. Oh, I mean, again, not knocking it. I could go back to it if I needed to, but
yeah. All right. I hate to bail, but I need to go get my kid ready for baseball.
All right.
I need to get myself ready for baseball.
Is this another league? Because they just did their championship, right?
This is a tournament, so it's a Father's Day tournament. Tonight's the first game, and then there's 2 games Saturday and 2 games Sunday.
Oh, that's easy. You just look him in the eye and say, "If you love me, you'll win this." I'm just saying. If you don't win it, we both understand you don't love me.
I'll try that. No.
See if that motivates properly. All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Thanks everyone.
Appreciate it. Thanks everybody. Wow, numbers are up there. Where's everybody at? Everybody still X. Thanks all people on X, YouTube, Twitch. A couple people on Twitch. Let's see.